What's going on, guys? It's New603 from Shustybang, and I'm bringing you my first impressions of the release of Battlefield 4. And I know these seem kind of like overdone, but it's something I feel is very important given that not everyone gets this game on day one. We have our European friends that are not being able to play it right now, well, those that didn't VPN in, and there are a lot of people that are waiting on next-gen consoles before they can play it. So I just want to go over a few things that I thought, really stuck out that are worth mentioning. I'm going to keep it short and sweet. So first off, the big takeaway is that the game looks and plays great. It feels like they made a significant jump from what we were playing during the beta to what we have now at final release. Now they did say that when the beta came out, they actually had an updated playable version of that, and it was basically the final release version, but they couldn't get it into the beta before the beta released. So that's why we had that glitchier version that wasn't exactly great and certainly wasn't polished by any means. But I am happy to say that they made significant improvements going from the beta to what the launch is. And actually, I think it's a lot better than what we got from the Battlefield 3 beta to Battlefield 3 release during launch day. So that is a huge positive. Gun mechanics are still solid. As far as I can tell, they didn't make any changes. Everything felt good. Everything still felt familiar, which is great. So everything that I picked up in during the beta was not forgotten. So I was actually able to do pretty well. Not great, but I was happy given that it's technically a new game for me, and a lot of my playstyle revolves around map knowledge, so without having that, I tend to struggle a little bit. But I definitely had a couple of really good games in there, so I'm stoked. We played for almost 4 hours now. It's 4 a.m. as I am doing this commentary. Very happy with what we've done so far. My knee-jerk reactions to the map designs. I actually think that they're better than Battlefield 3 for the vanilla maps we've gotten. They seem like they've put a little bit more thought and effort into them in the sense of overall balance for where everything's located, what you have for cover, where vehicle spawns are and everything. Now, I'm not saying it's like head and shoulders better, but I do think there is at least a slight improvement in what we have to start with now in Battlefield 4 than we ever did in Battlefield 3. The only thing we played so far was a bit of Conquest, Domination, and Rush, and the reason for that is because I know I said that we were actually going to stick with Team Deathmatch, but someone made a good point that playing in Domination is a slightly bigger version of TDM and with maps, so you can technically probably get more points and you get a little bit more map knowledge. So I was like, oh, that's a good idea. So that's what we really stuck with at first, was playing Domination, and then we got kind of tired of that, so we're like, okay, well, let's check out Conquest and see what the maps look a little bigger. We did that for a few games, and that was fun. They weren't too huge, and I apologize because I cannot remember any of the maps. I mean, it took me forever to remember the Battlefield 3 ones, so it's going to take me a while to remember the Battlefield 4 ones. And we also played a little bit of Rush because I wanted to stick with something that was familiar. I really want to get into Diffuse, but we're going to save that for today, actually. We'll be playing it while this video has gone live. So expect that in tomorrow's video because Diffuse is the thing I've been looking forward to the most. Now, one of the downsides that I feel is very important and worth mentioning is the guns, like the 50 cal guns, if you will, in the choppers, especially the Little Bird. I don't know what they did, but it seriously feels like these guns are incredibly weak given what they're supposed to. Now, Little Bird is actually, as far as my understanding goes, it's supposed to be really good about infantry, and for the life of me, I felt like I was shooting Nerf darts at people all night long. No matter what I did, it's just like, it was taking way more than I ever anticipated to get a kill, and it was really upsetting. It was actually extremely frustrating too. Also, how some of the vehicles work against other vehicles. I know that some of them are designed, like the LAV against other vehicles. LAV is supposed to be mainly against infantry, but you'd think that at least do something against other vehicles. No, good luck with that. As far as how those vehicles handle, I'm actually very impressed with how both the Little Bird, the Viper, so all three, and the transport choppers handle. I actually think they did some slight tweaking, because that Little Bird, man, when you take off in it, it shoots up like a freaking bottle rocket, and it's very nimble. That thing can turn and roll on a dime. The transport chopper actually had a little bit more finesse to it than it did in the beta, so it seems like they kind of reeled back on how difficult it was to fly. Same thing with the Viper. I feel like it was a little bit more controllable than it was in the beta. Minor changes, but for the better. Alright guys, that's going to wrap it up. Like I said, I wanted to keep it short. There's a couple things that I wanted to mention in this video that I thought were really big takeaways that people are going to be looking for when they go into Battlefield. Like, what are the things that you're most worried about? I really think it's going to be the, how it looks, how it feels, the gun mechanics, because obviously that's important. Everything you freaking do revolves around the gun mechanics. How the maps play out, and then the vehicles, how they work. I gotta say, I mean, overall, initial impressions, early impressions are very, very good, and I think this game has a ton of potential to be absolutely phenomenal and highly enjoyable for us for at least the next year. Thank you guys for watching. Catch you later.